Showtime! The Capital G show starts right now.
What's up YouTube, Capital G here. We're talking censorship in this video. It's always been a hot button topic in America, and unfortunately Yu-Gi-Oh has been a perpetual victim of censoring. Remember, this game originated in Japan, and the cultural differences between it and other regions of the world are vast. Many times in card art, graphic or religious images, dangerous weapons, or any type of art that could be deemed sexually suggestive has often been censored or changed completely. In this video, I'm going to attempt to highlight many of those instances in a segment I'm going to call the top 10 most censored or drastically changed card arts of all time, the Yu-Gi-Oh hierarchy. Number 10, Fiend comedian. Comedians are supposed to make you laugh. They tell jokes and they're there to make sure that the audience has a good time. In a card game that is primarily marketed towards children, you might expect to see something similar to the TCG artwork where the characters look like they've been kind of taken straight out of a Saturday morning cartoon. But compare that to the OCG artwork where the comedians resemble demons and they appear to be doing something that is so dangerous, I'm not even sure a child should be looking at it, let alone attempt it. I mean, I guess Japan just has a very, very dark sense of humor. Number 9, Ultimate Offering. Ultimate Offering is supposed to be symbolic of giving up your most precious resource, of course your own life force, for in exchange the ultimate reward, which in this game generally means the opportunity to spam the board with tons of monsters and potentially kill your opponent. And while the TCG artwork does a decent job of conveying that, as it depicts a monster giving part of his own body to breed anew, the OCG artwork is much more direct and clearly displays a blood sacrifice being paid. Number 8, Taunt. This could be the most unnecessary card art date to change, as in the Japanese card art, I couldn't actually find anything offensive. I mean, you've got two ragtag looking goons who are obviously baiting you into a fight or some sort of physical altercation. In the TCG artwork, however, which let me just first say is laughably bad, the two gentlemen are replaced with two rejects from Nickelodeon's hit show from the 90s, Our Real Monsters. It's just lame. Number 7, Dramatic Rescue. I'll give Konami some credit here. At least the art stays very faithful to the spirit of the card. In the TCG version of Dramatic Rescue, we see a situation where a would-be hero is attempting to save a dashing damsel in distress as she's tied up and guarded by multiple soldiers. A dire situation indeed. However, it's not nearly as dire as the situation this very same damsel finds herself in the OCG version of the art, where she's about half a second from losing her right arm to a freaking guillotine. I mean, based on this art, I'm gonna say that somebody might need to give her a hand, literally. Number 6, Miss Valley Shaman. Maybe I'm just an ignorant American, but this card made me wonder just what the hell does a typical Japanese shaman look like anyways. On the TCG art, it shows a woman who resembles to be maybe a holy priestess, as she seems to be doing some sort of prayer or meditation. In the Japanese art, it's a whole different ballgame, as our priestess is donning a very kinky and revealing leather getup, and I mean, let's just be real, she is getting high as a kite off of those fumes. I think this one is best described as OCG version equals Saturday night, TCG version equals Sunday morning. Number 5, N Kaito. This whimsical healing goddess must have been deemed a little too revealing in her OCG artwork, as you get a sneak peek of some old lady boobies, and maybe it could have been the Monster Reborn cross that she's holding and its religious overtones, but regardless, the entire artwork was completely scrapped for the TCG version of the card. In the TCG, we got a much different version of N Kaito with significantly more clothing and with her cross replaced with a crystal ball of all things. Because that makes sense. Hey, maybe she changed her profession from healing goddess to psychic? Number 4, Soul of the Pure. When you look at the TCG version of the card, it makes perfect sense, as you see a benevolent angel who appears to be partaking in some sort of healing water or bubbles, thus improving her vitality. I mean, makes sense, right? The OCG artwork, on the other hand, is, well, a little disturbing, as we get a much gloomier angel with self-inflicted wounds. Not only could this be seen as glorifying cutting, which is very taboo in North America, but in all honesty, what the card depicts is completely the opposite of what the card actually does. Number 3, Water Omotics. Big ass titties. There, now that we got that out of the way, Water Omotics is one of the cards on the list that I most agree with when it comes to censorship, and honestly, I kind of wonder how this even got past the execs in Japan from Konami. Like, what are you guys thinking over there? I mean, she's wearing zero clothing in the OCG version of the card, nipples or not, that just can't fly. The TCG version of the card puts her in some very appropriate and dashing clothing. She's got a blue scale dress on there, although I do feel like her headband color change from blue to pink was kind of unnecessary. Number 2, Final Flame. What a way to go out. Final Flame gives us a nightmarish image of a monster being burned alive, and it's kind of to the point. It's a very good representation of what the card should be used for. However, once again, the OCG art takes it up a notch, and it shows a person being burned alive while bound to a cross. This could be a cult-like ritual. I mean, I guess when you think about it, the death isn't more painful, but it's more uncomfortable, which, I mean, that's something. Honorable mentions include Soul Release, which can be seen here, Watt Cancel, which can be seen here, Spicy Spy, which can be seen here, Magigira Panda, which can be seen here, Tragedy, which can be seen here, Bicular, which can be seen here, Ortho Hime, which can be seen here. And finally, number 1, Last Day of Witch. Okay, let's be blunt here. The OCG artwork was probably, it took things a little too far, as you see a couple of helpless witches who are about to be burned at the stake as if they were trying to recreate the Salem witch trials or something. But the TCG artwork was just terrible. I mean, you replaced the entire card art with a lame ass 60s cartoon witch with the predictable giant red circle with a line running through it. This is just an insult to everyone's intelligence, and quite frankly, I found it to just be lazy. I'm sure that they could have found a better way to tone this card down without removing the spirit of the card completely. I just thought that this one was just, it was just really, really bad. It definitely stuck out. So let me know what you guys thought of the list. Were there any card art alterations or censorships that I missed out on? What's your favorite one? Leave that in the comment section below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Subscribing makes life happy.